Yo, perhaps you shouldn't make a judgment before you have meticulously dealt with a certain topic, but since both of them in a case depend on the writer, who cares? So I have to say that today in our video we're gonna see observing the tERRORbane. If someone today came and asked you how you would like define the concept of originality, like the OG concept, we would show the tERRORbane. And we probably keep showing it for a long time until someone comes up with another idea that's so weird, so crazy, so damn brilliant. Someone who, mind you, at the same time will also be able to develop the idea is an effective and a perfectly functional way with the product, low and criticized, always divisive, which today is unknown as a video game. Because we like tERRORbane a lot, we have always liked his idea, we have always reminded you of the recent test. We also had several jobs in our streams about how much it was possible to make that idea in a title capable of keeping attention from start to the finish, without falling into the monotony and repetition. Danger in this society around the corner now that the knots have come to head. We explain why you should play tERRORbane at least once in your life, and also the reasons why perhaps it's not for you. So let's start from the plot. I am developer and you are the gamer. What can you even understand how complex is create a video game? This is the premise of the plot of the tERRORbane, whose progress is always constantly marked by the meta-narrative. Basically, it is the video game that explains how difficult it is, in effect, to make a video game, assuming the perspective of the developer, who poor things has to cope with an exorbitant amount of the requests. Because players, want everything immediately. They want a freely exported game with charismatic characters, a captivating storyline, gameplay as varied as possible, and above all, what to encounter any bugs or glitches of any kind. It's not easy to please everyone. The poor developer accompanies us from beginning to the end of the fruition. He is a sort of speaking supporting actor who occasionally intervenes, directly helping us with his magical powers, consisting us in the use of programming code. Instead, we have the task of guiding the protagonist of the adventure tERRORbane in the very banal and predictable enterprise of saving the world from the evil divinity. If they were easy, the programmer of the game is so bundling that he has created a significantly unplayable experience, because every second a stage bug pops up and makes the card unpredictable. But here we arrive at the very heart of tERRORbane. Even before the hero, the real protagonist, are the programming errors, which prove to be critical too, with the sender reach the recipient with a precise message. The message consists in unconscionable love for two different but also interconnected experiences, the work of the programmers and the use of the video games. Now you might object that you have perhaps understood the beautiful message behind the tERRORbane without understanding how to play on the balance. We have already explained to you how the bugs represent the heart of the production, so much that the entire advertising campaign has insisted on the aspect. In fact, from the beginning we understand two things: that the main purpose is only marginally to get the end credits of unlikely hero adventure. Instead, it's much more important to collect as many bugs as possible along the way. Give us a list, the developer is counting on us, exploring his video game far and wide. We perhaps be able to submit all the aspects to be changed as soon as possible, because they are broken. But in this point, the tERRORbane is all broken. Virtually nothing is saved from entire cities that disappear, swallowed up by a black hole of poorly made code, to bosses that can be easily circumvented by improving combat system never foreseen in a similar situation. In all this, no one ever takes themselves seriously, and everyone is aware that were the almost inside a theatrical performance. The NPCs, for example, the jokes, a lot of the being poor insignificant presences. Just because you're into the here doesn't mean I have to tell you something interesting, replied a residential of the first AV. How to display him? tERRORbane contributably plays with expectations of the certain video games genre, and by aping them all with the intelligence, raises conceptual full for thoughts as well as the moments of truly genuine laughter. We could mention dozens of them, but why we take away the pleasure of the surprise? If we really had to force the game with a genre, perhaps we would choose the labels of the adventure, because in any case there is a mission to complete, albeit marked in completely disturbed sequences of all the puzzles, given the percents of puzzles impossible to overlook, all simulating creatively. In reality, however, the electricism of the tERRORbane is as to present and different times. Almost all well-known and less-known genres and the video games industry, from the textual adventures to the classical jRPGs, from the arcades to the battle royales. You want to do a sudden quote? You want for direct changes in the gameplay? No genre, no theme, no historical franchise has been overlooked. Perhaps the only objective defect consists is narration made by precise tracks, extremely guided, after all grabbing absolute freedom to the player. In such a word would have compromised the general virtuosity. We would inevitably get lost along the way, ending up overwhelmed by all different situations, with a little incentive to complete a plot which, after all, still remains a mere pretext. We will live in an industry with well-established mechanics. We are almost unaccustomed to a new possibility of being surprised. tERRORbane, on the other hand, represents the exceptional anomalous elements, as if there were really bugs inside the system, very simple in his ideas, effective in their rendering. He manages to enter from start to finish. It will take even a few hours to complete it, but that time I spent laughing out loud at all times, and only God knows if there is need for this word. Among other things to explore, it is impossible to track down the perfect smallest glitch. You will have to start on over and over again, and many and ever times. Thank you for watching. All the information will be in bio. Peace.